And we're sitting there for a second and we're looking at each other and we're like, are we actually gonna do this? So just as a disclaimer, everything I say is totally true, and every single name included in this video is going to be changed for the safety of my friends, as well as for the guy to hopefully not find me and know I'm talking about him, but I'm sure if he sees this, he will know exactly who I'm talking about. So this started about probably a month after graduation. I graduated from high school. It was a really fun time, and it was the only time I ever actually had friends outside of school, and we did things together, and it was really fun. I was hanging out with my friend, what should I name her? Let's see. We're gonna call her and see what she wants to be called in this video. I think that would be really funny.
Hello?
Hey! I have a question.
What is it?
Okay, I'm filming the video and I can't think of a name for you. What do you want me to call you?
Cloud.
Cloud?
Cloud, yeah, it was almost my middle name.
Okay. Because like I was sitting here and I was like, I want to do a name that still is kind of like her personality, and the only thing I could think of was like Stacy, and it's like, no. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you.
Love you.
Bye. So Cloud and I were hanging out with our friend Mackenzie for a while. Mackenzie got a job, and so it's just Cloud and I. And she had this friend that she met online that was staying with her and her parents for a while. We're gonna call him James. It was a lot of fun. He was very much openly gay. I decided I was done playing guitar in my room and just performing for my parents and my sister. I wanted to do an open mic. And where I lived, it was like a really small town, and every single time they had a place with open mic, it didn't do very well and would close. This place also closed, but it was open around the time where I wanted to do it. So it was like a sign, you know? So I found out the next open mic date, and I was kind of chickening out, and I was like, you know what, never mind, I'm not going to do it. And they were like, yes you are. I wasn't even dressed up that well for the occasion, so Cloud let me borrow a scarf, and we did our makeup. All three of us did our makeup, and it was a lot of fun. So we go inside, and it's really loud. There's people already performing. I got to sign in even though I was really late. I said, please let me perform. And they're like, if we have room at the end, we'll let you perform. How long will it be? I said, 2 songs. If you need it, I could only be 1 song. That's totally fine. I just want to perform. And they were like, I'm sure 2 songs will be fine. So it's really loud, and I wanted to make sure I remembered it because I've never played the guitar and sang in front of people ever except for my family. I have sang for talent shows, I've auditioned for TV shows singing, and I was recorded, but I was never on stage with the guitar playing and singing. And so I look over at Cloud and James and I say, I'm gonna go outside and practice a little. So first I sit on a bench and I'm playing, but then like this couple comes over and kind of gives me that look like she's sitting in our spot, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna move. So I went over to the patio area and I sat down and I started playing the guitar, and everything was cool, everything was smooth. I'm playing, and then all of a sudden this guy walks up to me, and he has like a cigarette, or no, it wasn't a cigarette, it was like one of those vape electronic cigarettes, and all of a sudden he's talking to me, and I can't exactly remember what he's talking about, but like first we're talking about music, and then he starts talking about drugs to me, and I'm not really the type of person to do or talk about drugs or alcohol. That's just part of my modesty, I guess. I'm making conversation just so I'm not rude. I mean, I'm already good with my music, so I mean, there's really nothing else to do, and I don't want to be rude and say, hey, well actually I'm gonna go in, because he seemed like really nice. So then after a while he moves from across me to sitting with me at my table, and that was still fine, you know. I have never made friends outside of school. The only interaction I have with people is either at work or at school. So since it was the first time I was actually out without my parents, just with my friends, and this guy who's like maybe a year or two older than me is talking to me. I wasn't interested in him, but just the fact that I'm in a situation where I could possibly make a friend was like, okay, this is what adults do. Like, literally, I was thinking in my head, this is how adults make friends. It's totally fine. He's talking about how he has like depression and anxiety, bipolar disorder, like everything you can think of. He's like, oh, and I have this and I have this and I have this. And apparently he was like in the military and got kicked out because he couldn't pass like the psyche thing. He was like, something about him wasn't right, and the military said, boop. Nope. That's scary. Now, sometimes it's something like depression, but like something about him was not right, and so when he said that the military wouldn't take him because he was mentally like troubled, it was kind of a little red flag. It was like, something's not right here. So I finally get to the point where I feel like I should go. And I'm right about to make an excuse. Hey, I need to go because like my friends are in there. But then my friend Cloud comes out and she sits down with me and she starts talking to me about stuff. And I'm all like, Cloud, meet Fred. Fred, Cloud. I don't know why I did that. And then it turns out Cloud is very into like Wicca. She loves that, I guess you'd call a religion. She's really into it. She's the one who gave me my first set of tarot cards. She's really an awesome person, and I love that she is so open to the world, and that's what makes me love her so much. Apparently, Fred has that in common, which, okay, it's possible, but it's really rare in the area that we lived. So they're talking about it, and then they're talking about some other things. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just in my brain. I was just sitting there, and I was like, okay, we need to leave this guy alone. Something isn't right. I leave her with Fred, which now that I think about it was an awful idea. But I leave her with Fred and I go inside to see James, and I'm talking to James and I'm like, James, there's this guy out there that we're talking to and he's like kind of weird. And he's like, weird like how? Do you think he's gay? And it's like, James, I don't think he's gay. He's been telling me about his girlfriend. And he's like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, yeah, but apparently he's into, you know, like Wicca and stuff. And James was also into that. So both Cloud and James go out there and they're just talking to him, you know, having fun. And I find out that I'm about to go up. And so I go outside, I run outside, and I'm like, hey, I'm about to go on stage. So just so you know, I'm going to be up there. And so they're like, okay. So I go back in and they come in and Cloud and James sit at our table. When it's time for me to go up there, I go up there. I'm really nervous, but you know, my friends are with me. Until I look out in the crowd and I see Fred sitting at our table. Okay, I'm playing and I'm looking at this and I'm like, what is he doing at our table? Doesn't he have a group? Until I remembered that he was there by himself because he likes the atmosphere and he likes to, you know, watch the musicians, whatever. So I'm like, okay, so I guess he's part of our group for this now. Weird, but maybe they're friends now, who knows. So I get off stage and he's all like, you did so amazing, you did so good, you know. And he's like, he gave me a hug, and my friends gave me a hug, and when Fred gave me a hug, I had like this weird feeling up my spine and it like trickled, and it was the most disgusting feeling on the planet. Like, when I tell you I had a really weird feeling about him, it was like really weird. And the whole time I felt a little uncomfortable. I was just playing on my phone until the end of the open mic so that we didn't leave right after, just so we're not being rude. So finally, it's the end of the open mic and Fred picks up my guitar case. He picked up my guitar case that was right next to my leg. He got up, went around to the end of the table, picked up my guitar case, looked at me, looked at Cloud and James, and said, so where are we going now? Like, I'm sorry, but you're not part of the group. I don't know you, and you're creepy as hell. So I'm kind of stunned. I wasn't sure what to do because I was never in this situation. I could not tell if I was just freaking out for nothing and he was actually being nice, or if he was being like a predator, which by the way, he was being a predator. And he starts walking with my guitar case to the door. So I'm following him because I'm like, he's not stealing my brand new guitar that I just got for Christmas. No way. It's my baby. I play that thing nonstop. He is not stealing my baby. I thought he was stealing my guitar. No. Instead, Cloud, James, and I walk up to the door with him, and he's all like, you want to go get something to eat and so we can hang out some more? I look at Cloud and James, and I go, I'm not really hungry, no, I'm okay. But then Cloud and James are all like, yeah, we're hungry, let's go. And so Cloud and James were my ride, and so where they go, I felt like I had to go. Now this was my first error, okay? To anybody who's in this situation, if you are in a situation where you do not want to go somewhere with your friends, whether it's because they are being irresponsible or there's a really creepy guy with your guitar, I should have grabbed my guitar, told them I'm not going. If they went without me, I just had to go borrow a phone, call my mom, and tell her to pick me up. But instead, I thought that I was obligated to go with them, and so I said, yeah, okay, fine, let's go. I get my guitar case back, and he's like, okay, let's meet up at this one place. And it was like jam-packed. And so we meet up in the parking lot, and he's like, let's go to O'Charlie's because I work at O'Charlie's and I have a friend who's a waiter at O'Charlie's. Let's go to O'Charlie's. And so we go to O'Charlie's. Mind you, I did not have a cell phone back then, so if something happened to me, there was no way for my mom to know. So we go to O'Charlie's, and there's a couple people inside, and he goes, let's sit on the patio. The patio was totally empty. You can't see the patio because there's bushes and there's like a water fountain and stuff. And we were in the very corner where you literally can't see anything. And we didn't have any money on us because we weren't gonna go like out to eat or anything. We were just going to the open mic. We weren't even getting coffee. So we had absolutely no money with us. So he orders us food. We got chips and some kind of dip. I feel super uncomfortable. Like, I was totally fine when it was just us three at O'Charlie's, and I was like taking pictures of the water fountain and stuff until he comes out, and I felt totally uncomfortable all over again. And Fred had some very interesting conversations with us. Conversations I felt so uncomfortable with, you have no idea. It took everything in me to feel like, to stay calm and to seem like nothing was wrong with me, when inside I was freaking out. My anxiety was over the roof. Like, through outer space, through every single freaking universe, I went to God. Like, my anxiety was so bad because I just felt like something was not right with this guy, especially when he started talking like this. Remember, before he has a girlfriend, we were talking about something. I can't remember everything about the conversation, obviously, but there's things that it's like, holy crap. Like, okay, he has a girlfriend. He absolutely hates his girlfriend. His girlfriend's a bitch. She's a hoe. Stuff like that, right? On and again, off again girlfriend. He lives with her. He hates her. Just talking mad crap about his girlfriend. And it's like, why are you telling us this, one? And why are you like this about her? And the thing that set me off, the thing that freaked me out, was when he said, my girlfriend's been raped like 3 times in our house. And I was like, oh my God. And then he was like, one of the times I walked in and she was raped by my best friend. And I watched. I watched my girlfriend get raped by my best friend in our bedroom. And see, he didn't even seem fazed. He was happy about this. She got raped a couple times, and I watched my best friend rape her, and then he'd go, she's a bitch, I fucking hate her. And it was like, whoa, what's going on? I look over at Cloud, and she's feeling, I get chills just thinking about it. She's feeling a little uncomfortable too. I can see it. I look over at James, and he's not even fazed by it. Like, he's just having a conversation. He doesn't care. So we're talking about things. I stop engaging in the conversation. I am just in my own little world. I'm not even thinking anything. I'm just literally like, everything is blank. I blank everything out. I'm just there with the chips and the dip. And when I get nervous, I eat. I feel like I shouldn't have eaten the chips and dip because, like, anything could have happened to it. But I was just so nervous and I needed to do something so that I didn't break down. So I was sipping my water, eating chips and dip, and he starts talking about sex. But he's talking about some freaky things. And, like, it's kind of uncomfortable the way he's just so nonchalant about it with strangers. Like, it's one thing if it's your friend, I guess, but like, we just met maybe an hour or two ago. Why are you telling me about your fetishes, and why are you showing us pictures and video clips of porn that you get off to? And I think he could tell that he kind of lost me. I saw a couple of them, and it was crazy. Like, I have never seen anything like that before, and I pray that I never do again. James is just all for it. He's like laughing and smiling, and then after the conversation about sex, it turns into drugs and how he has a bunch of drugs and how he has a friend that's a drug dealer, stuff like that, that he likes to get drunk. He has a bunch of alcohol in his apartment, you know, stuff like that, and James is getting really interested. He's just there for the party, and I get even more uncomfortable. Like, I am shutting down before Cloud. She could see it, and when I look over at Cloud every single time and she looks over at me, we both exchange this look of, oh my god, what are we in the middle of? What's going on? So Fred invites us over, and that's where I lost it. I was like, what? He's all like, you guys can come over, we can get drunk, we could do drugs, blah blah blah. My girlfriend's a bitch, da 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 before, and she doesn't like people over, but then all of a sudden, she won't care if you're over. She wouldn't care if you guys are over. Everything would be cool. We can all do drugs. We can all get drunk. We can all have a great time. And Fred is like, I can drive you guys. You can just leave your car here. James was all for it. He was like, yes, let's go. Let's go. We're going to go get drunk. We're all going to go do drugs. Yes, let's do it. I excuse myself from the table. And I go to the bathroom. And I start to cry. And I'm freaking out because I thought that Cloud wanted to go too, and my friend James was going. I hide in the bathroom stall, and once I'm done crying, Cloud comes in, and she says, Mariah, are you in here? I say, Cloud, I am not going to his apartment. I refuse to go to his apartment. He is scary and I do not like him. And I go out of the stall and she says, thank God, because I don't want to either. And we're just hugging each other. We're just like, what are we gonna do? James is gonna go. And she told me that she tried to explain to James, like, because Fred got up when I left, and she talked to James, and she said, this isn't good. We should not go. This has gone far enough. Mariah is clearly upset. I don't think we should do this. And James is all like, well, you can do whatever you want. I want to go do this. I want to go do drugs. You guys can go home. You're our driver. We can't go home. What kind of friend is that, right? So I collect myself. I go out with Cloud. And Fred is like, you guys ready to go? I already paid. And Cloud and I are like, you know, we're not feeling good. I think we told him that I wasn't feeling good, that I was feeling kind of sick, and we were going to go home. And Fred was like, okay, I understand. He was like really upset. And James was like, but I'll go with you. I'll go with you. And the only reason why he wanted to go with him is because of the promise of drugs, of alcohol, and at some point, Fred said that he's always wanted to try gay sex. When James says that he'll be going, he gets a little uncomfortable. He's all like, are you sure you guys can't come? And I'm like, I don't feel good. I don't want to go. Now, we could have just said, we don't want to go. I'm sorry. We don't want to go. You're creepy as hell. We're going home. But we wanted to be polite because we didn't want to set him off. And we're like, James, will you please go with us? And James is like, no, I'm going to go with Fred. Cloud gets in the driver's seat. I get into the passenger seat while Fred and James goes into Fred's car. And we're sitting there for a second. And we're looking at each other and we're like, are we actually going to do this? We should have called either my mom or Cloud's mom. Because if we had gotten pulled over, I wouldn't be able to have my license for like a couple years, and she wouldn't either. And I'm sure there's a ticket for that and all kinds of things. But we weren't thinking. We were just thinking, we need to get out of this situation. We need to go home right now. The whole entire car ride, it was about 30 minutes. She was driving at the speed limit, like dead on at the speed limit. And the whole time we can like barely talk to each other unless it's about the situation. Just reviewing it with each other, just going, okay, this happened and this happened and he said this and oh my God, why is James going with him? Why isn't he with us? Why? I'm just bawling my eyes out and I'm freaking out. My anxiety's through the roof and we're talking about it. And of course, because we're talking about it, we had to talk about what could have happened to us. We have so many theories. One of the theories is that he was a murderer. Another theory is he's part of the sex trade. You know, like so many things could have happened to us and we're just freaking out the whole entire time, that whole entire drive home. We're just terrified. Every single car that is behind us, we're scared it's Fred following us. There's this one car that was following us and that was so freaking scary. And so we were like, is that Fred's car? It looks so similar to Fred's car. Oh my God, is he following us? So we pull into a Walmart parking lot and we book it to the doors and we get in and we do laps around Walmart. She's texting him, James, are you okay? James, what are you doing? He's not answering. After our hot laps around Walmart, after we feel more comfortable, it's been a long time. If someone was following us, hopefully they're gone. We like run into the car, we start it up. We finally go to her house and we tell her mom everything and her mom is so upset. She was freaking out with us. I was so freaked out. I'm still freaked out by that whole thing. James texted us, I think it was the next day, had Fred drop him off at a gas station in town so that Cloud's dad could pick him up. And Cloud's dad said that he had such a really bad vibe from him. He told James, never put my daughter and her friend in that situation again. What are you thinking? After that, I haven't thought of him like a friend after that because like that's just ridiculous. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope if you learn anything from this, it's to make sure to keep yourself out of harmful situations. If you feel something isn't right, even if your friends are going along with it, even if they're your ride, if you feel something isn't right, it's probably because something isn't right and you should not do what you are supposed to because you're with your friends. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm very thankful that everything turned out okay, that even James was okay, that we were okay, that nothing happened. I hope you guys all stay safe and healthy, and if you have anything to share down below, whether it's also like, oh my god, something similar like this happened to me, let me know down below. I would like to hear your story if you'd like. And yeah, don't forget to comment, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video, whether it be a story time or whatever. I don't know yet. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.